Hi guys, and welcome to this week's reading vlog. We're gonna sit down and get through the 40 something series I'm in the middle of reading because frankly there's too many. It's kind of weighing on my conscience reading like new books and starting new series knowing I haven't gone back to old favorites. And so in this video we're gonna try to tackle as many of those as I can, continuing series, trying to get through with them, see my opinions and thoughts through, because I feel like there's nothing like a good series if you're connected to the characters and you want to keep going back to that world. And so in this week's video, that's my gift to myself, basically doing all of that, seeing how many we can read together, and hopefully we'll have a blast because that's basically the goal for anything, which is why let's just jump right in. Those are today's plans. So excited, and it's gonna be a fun one. Now for context, if you watch my getting out of a reading slump vlog, the whole reason I'm doing this vlog in the first place is because I want to read this fantasy book series that I read the first one of in that video, nearly gave a 5 stars. I'm still not sure about my opinion and final rating on that one, but I needed to get to the next one so bad because it ends on like the biggest cliffhanger ever, and I'm so connected to the characters that I needed to see it through, which is why I'm recording this vlog instead of the other one I had planned for this week. But again, no harm no foul, because it's still going to be really fun and exciting. I have so many other books planned for this video as well that I want to get to, especially like Dungeon Crawler Carl, that series, Addicted, because I started, I just haven't continued, and I know it's going to be such a great time because I love the characters. I want to see it through, which is why those are plans essentially this week. College also starts for me from tomorrow onwards, and because I'll be starting my second year, we have like new library privileges and stuff that have opened up for us, especially me, because like I can use them now, which is why I'll see y'all directly tomorrow now once I have my first actual update in terms of books to give y'all, because I haven't really officially started anything for the vlog. I still need to be getting other things done, like posting tonight's video, getting things ready for college, and so I will start an audiobook. We'll see which series we're continuing in the middle right now. I'll update y'all tomorrow once I get back from college, because again I have something to listen to on the commute over back home and over there, because the commute is long as well, couple hours easy, and so hopefully we'll have a next audiobook done by that point as well. But already so excited to read some series and get back to my favorite worlds right now, because that's just the best feeling ever, and I know it's going to be fun, especially considering the fact that sometimes college reading is also really fun, because like hanging out on campus reading some books. And so I'm just so excited to see how that goes, read the next one in that series I was talking about. And yeah, that's going to be this week's reading vlog. I'll go lock in on all the things I need to get ready for tomorrow's college, obviously, and I'll see you all now directly tomorrow once I have the first book ready, obviously. That's today's video. It's going to be so fun because I'm in the middle of 40 series. I feel so guilty right now. We just have to try to finish a couple of them at least in this vlog, and hopefully that'll be a success too, which is why those are our plans today. Let's just hop right in, and that's going to be a really fun time. So I just think I had the best first day in the history of first days today for like college and stuff, because what an incredible day. I went in expecting like a full day of classes and like practicals and stuff. So because I commute and my house is very far from college, I have to make sure I'm carrying every single thing I may need down to like the smallest detail, because I can't just like pop back in home and be like, hey, I'm just picking something up. I literally cannot do that. So I need to carry like a sanitizer, lip balm, all that shit as well. And so I made sure to like carry my full backpack, it's right here if you can see it, along with me, full of everything I'd probably require for a full day of classes, thinking, oh, I'm just gonna be so exhausted by the end of it. Had my snacks all ready to go, my books and my laptop queued up. And so I walk in there, and apparently it was only like the day when you have to like go sign up for all your classes and stuff and make sure you have gotten like a confirmation that you got in. And then apart from that, they were giving us like introductory lectures, and it was over in like no time. So they were just like, if you want to sit in the labs and practice, you can. If you want to leave, more than welcome to. So I was just like, wait, hey, I don't really need to, because I have my laptop. I can practice at home if I have to, which means I just like walked out of there. I got donuts on the way. The best part is in the morning my granddad dropped me, and we had like the most incredible conversation, just like yapping. Then on the way back, I wasn't expecting it, fully expected to like take public transport back home. My best friend was in the area, so he told me wait there, and I fully didn't expect it. Okay, he literally told me wait there 10 minutes, I'll come get you. What a day. I basically got to yap and hang out with two besties, my granddad and my best friend, and like honestly what a day. Came back home, I've got my donut secured, I had like a full hangout session, and then now I'm just so in charge to like read the book and whatnot, read like a bunch of books. But the thing is, I didn't really get time to listen to audiobooks on the commute. That's the whole point, to say that I will probably start something now, but I am in the middle of 4 books at the moment that I figured, okay, let me just start like a chapter or two, see what it's about. And while I was waiting there in queue for like the classes confirmation, I did read quite a bit on my phone as well. So So now I'll just see what progresses the most and which one I'm most inclined to continue, and then we'll pick that one up. But all 4 of them are in series. One of them is Dungeon Crawler Carl, one is Addicted, one is that series by Danielle, I think it's called Maid, and then the other one is The Crimson River or something like that by Devney in Eden's. So let's see which one I end up picking up, but all are kind of up my alley. A couple of them I'm not really enjoying, but we shall see what I end up doing. I will probably go ahead and at least try to finish one off this evening because I have the entire evening free and I'd like to actually get something done, which is why that's what I'm doing right now. This year I think I've probably been my most late when it comes to making birthday gifts for my best friend, because I still haven't worked on like literally anything. Like I have obviously progress on one thing, but I haven't finished it and I need to do something else as well. To the point where I'm thinking right now I want to pick up one of the audiobooks because the other 2 are on Kindle. And so I'll pick up like an audiobook and listen to that and finish her gift out. And then that'll be my evening, because frankly otherwise like what am I supposed to do? And I need to get it done because she'll be back in town in no time. I need to give it to her for her birthday and it's just crazy. So that's what my plans are for the evening. Just wanted to update that, hey, I didn't actually like any concrete book done, but I did start reading. And it's just been such an incredible day that I know I'm going to finish a book regardless, and like that's it, that's the update. I'm going to go now, I'm going to get to reading, see you all in a bit, and that's it, bye. Alright, so I finished the first book for this video. This is, I think, the 4th book in Dungeon Crawler Carl, that series. It's called The Gate of Feral Gods or something like that. I'm not really sure at this point, but I started it yesterday when I needed something to listen to as I was like posting my vlog and stuff, so I needed like thumbnail making time and stuff. And you know, throughout that I listened to it, got my stuff ready for college, all of that, to the point where I didn't have a lot left. So today evening, like I said, I locked in, I did go ahead and finish this out. And yeah, all I'm gonna say is like, guys, would you all be interested in watching like an only reading Dungeon Crawler Carl series? Because the way this book ended is just so evil. I want to read the next one so bad. Should I just read the next book? Right, because I'm still continuing series. I don't know, just the plot twist and the cliffhanger it ends off on, like I want to read the next one so bad to know what happens, which is so funny because the last time I read one of the books in the series, I was literally on the urge of like DNFing the series simply because it was kind of confusing and boring and a little bit messy. I feel like this one definitely brought me back on the bandwagon because it was very interesting. For a quick premise for the overall series, you follow this like sort of end of world situation wherein the apocalypse has come and the only way to survive it now is to like join this video game, and your playable character is essentially you, and your job is to kind of to make it through all the levels because there's 18, a human has only made it to like 13 or something like that before, and to, you know, get across the level so you can finally reach the end and win and you'll survive, you actually need to like do the level tasks so you can keep going on and advancing to the next one. So it's basically like any video game, you have to kill like mob bosses and acquire like spells and potions and like survive through it all. And this comes with an added twist to the point where your playable character is being sort of like televised. So picture like an Instagram live wherein the apocalypse, there are people, the viewers on the other side, who get to like watch the television of it, and you have to be appealing for them as well in your pursuit of trying to stay across and live throughout the process and whatnot, because then they'll start gifting you with like loot boxes and reward points that you can use in your process of defeating all the like enemies on the stage and whatnot, so you can keep advancing. And so basically you have to be the best at both games, and in this we have the perspectives of Dungeon Crawler Carl basically, and his ex-girlfriend's cat Princess Donut, is they're trying to survive. And this one was very interesting. It was the 5th floor of the dungeon. There's 18. I genuinely don't know how many books there'll be at this point, but all I'm saying is I'm just gonna eat them up because this one was just so insane. I feel like if you ask me right off the bat from like beginning to end, mark out like a process, I won't be able to tell you shit that happened in the order that it happened because it was just so insane. Stuff kept happening back and forth to the point where I don't even know how we reached at the end point from the beginning, but at the same time, it's all vibes, it's all fun if you lock in. Sometimes I didn't even understand bits, but I was just there for the vibes of it because it was kind of fun reading that. So that was fun. I did go ahead and finish it, and it was a longer one, but I didn't feel the length of it. So that's a good thing to say that now I want to continue the series so bad because the ending, oh my god, guys. I just feel so messed up knowing this one thing that we know now from the epilogue that I need to read the next one. So this one was really good, brought me back onto the series. I feel like these books are also really funny as well, so that definitely adds to an aspect. And you have like a bunch of like cool side characters, the cast being introduced, but also like the humanization of everyone, because you are fighting against like a corrupt system, and I feel like that is also played really well in the series, which is why overall I feel like this book was like a 4 stars. Again, I was only there for the vibes of it, but I enjoyed those thoroughly, and now I can't wait to get on to the next one. So So that's another series that we did continue with. We didn't finish it off, but at the same time I don't know if I want to finish it. I just want to live in this world forever at this point because it's so fun to read about. And yeah, I can't wait to see where the story goes now. That was my update for this one. I'm probably going to get back to another audiobook because I'm not done with my work as of yet. I have my laptop out. I'm still working on my friend's like gift and whatnot, the online one. Then I need to do the physical as well, to the point where I just know that it's going to take some time. And then I have a couple of other things I need to do tonight as well. But the thing is, last week I actually ended up recording 2 reading vlogs, to the point where I've only gotten one fully edited. I want to edit the other one as well. So I don't know how much reading I'm getting done tonight because I want to edit, but I also want to get this done, which is why I'm gonna see if I can continue Addicted and try to get through a decent amount of that. Let's see how that goes, because that would be really nice. I want to continue that series too, see it through, which is why those are my plans essentially for right now. I'll go listen to some, edit some, really just depends what I end up doing tonight. But hopefully tomorrow I'll be back in with more updates, because I'm here to get my series read. I'm here to get back into my favorite worlds and see them through, and it's just gonna be a good time overall. So let's see what happens next. I will get on to my next audiobook because that's what I'm in the mood for right now, and that's it for this update. So it's now the next day. I don't know how my slump is like completely, actually I do know I did record a video kind of trying to get out of my slump last week, and that really helped because at this point I have no slump to speak of. All I want to do is read. And so in a completely unexpected turn of events, yesterday in the night, I mean it's kind of expected because I'm a night owl, I stayed awake, I listened to my audiobook, I got so much work done apart from like all the things I needed to do, that at this point I finished my book out. I've started a different book, I'm listening to that, and I figured we'll speak about this before I get back to that. And yeah, it's just insane because I'm done with the 3rd book in the Addicted series right now. I think it's called like Addicted for Now or something. And the thing is, this book was again like a 500 something page book. I was listening on audio and it felt only like 100 pages because yeah, I binged this. I don't know if it's that I'm just out of my slump and so I'm really enjoying reading books again, or it's that the book was actually amazing because I had genuinely the best time ever, wasn't able to put it down. And yeah, I'm done with it now. I think we can speak about it really quick before I get on with the next series I want to continue, because again, such an incredible story. It's written so long ago, but it doesn't feel like it, and I'm enjoying every second of it, that which goes to say that obviously I love the series so much. But for like quick context, it essentially follows Lily and Lo, the series. They both have their own set of addictions that they want to deal with, and in the first book at least, they have this thing wherein they're pretending to date so that their families get off their backs and they can slowly indulge in their addictions like behind closed doors and stuff. And then outwardly they'll show this like happy front as a couple to their families, so they live like the perfect healthy lives, except it's not actually healthy because they're indulging behind doors, and here they're faking things just to like get by, except it's not really working out, and in the long run it's not really good for them. And in this book specifically, we have Lo, who's gotten back from rehab because he deals with alcohol, and Lily, her biggest secret has been revealed. So at this point they're both trying to cope with it. They're both trying to make sure they don't relapse and that they don't kind of feed into and enable each other's addictions. And all I'll say is they've worked so hard to get to the point where they are. They're literally my children at this point. They're older than me if they're my kids, because I love them so much. I love watching like their journey and their love for each other and just everything about them. No one understands how much I love these two characters. And the thing is, this series is very much like character driven, so if you don't like the characters, you probably won't like the story. But I'm just so connected to every single one of them that I just love going back to it and seeing their story and seeing what happens next. And this one was just, again, such an incredible book. 4 stars. I had so much fun listening, and now I want to read the next one so bad as well, because it's Connor's story, Connor and Rose. I'm reading like in the form of Addicted and Calloway, that series together. Also Reich, I believe, is my favorite at the moment, so I can't wait to get to his books as well. And yeah, it was just a great time overall. I got that done, and I'm still working on my friends' gifts and stuff. So now, at least for this evening, after I go ahead and like finish the gifts and stuff, I want to do a couple of other things as well, which is why the next book will also be an audiobook that I pick up, and we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, those are my plans for right now. I want to go clean my room as well, because I'm the sort of person who, when I'm in a rush, and I'm usually very late getting everywhere, I'm never on time, I always like throw things around as I'm getting ready just to get out door faster, even though it's my fault technically because I was late in the first place. And so all that stuff has been piling up and it just doesn't look clean. I need my background to be clean so I can focus, which is why let me go get to a little cleaning right now, work on her gift, see what I end up getting done. But this evening at least I have a good feeling that we're at least finishing 2 books if not more, because I'm in such like a huge reading mood and I'm having so much fun with the series that it's definitely gonna happen, which is why that's what I'm gonna get to. I can't wait to see if we'll get back to like Addicted and Dungeon Crawler Carl in this video specifically, because those two I can't stop thinking about, but at the same time I'm trying to like keep variation in the video so y'all don't get bored of seeing me read the same series over and over again, which is why let's see what I end up doing. But I don't know, who knows, because I want to read the next one so bad. We'll see what I end up picking up. But yeah, that's my update. I'm gonna get back to my books and I'll see you all in a bit. Bye. Okay, and it's update time because I got the next book done. I'm just in such a reading mood that I'm trying to take the full advantage of it that I can, because I am having the best time like binging books, and there's truly nothing like it. The past few months I haven't been able to do so, and now that I finally am, I just want to read as many as I can of my TBR. And so the next one I finished is called Crimson River. It's the next one in the Eden series by Devney. The thing is, I don't like the series at all, but I'm frankly like hate reading them just to get through with them because they're so cringy. Like if you read it, you're genuinely just gonna have that want to curl up and like die in a second hand full of embarrassment, because I don't know what it is with those books, but I just hate them so much, and I'm just reading them, like I said, to get through with them, almost as like a joke, because every time I pick them up, it's so funny to me how stupid they feel. But anyway, regardless, I figured I'd get to this one. This is the second last one in the series. I'm slowly reaching the end of it. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and so I figured we'd pick this one up for this video. Also, they get by really fast as well, so that's like a quick perk. And the audiobook wasn't very long, coupled with the fact that I was listening to it sped up, so I heard it out. I was making my friend's gift. I'm nearly done at this point. If you all know the game Genshin Impact, she loves it a lot. There's this character she loves a lot, so I got like photos printed, and there's this cake in the middle, and it's like a box with like her favorite shade of purple, so it's like patterned and whatnot, and then all those photos are stuck in the middle, and when you put it up together like that with the lid, it's also drying. You can like stick it up in there and then it like pops open or something. Again, it's drying. I need to figure all of that out with the ribbon and stuff, so I'm gonna do it later, write a note, all of that. But for now, this is one part of the gift that's done, and the best part is now I have that off my chest as well, because I've been so tensed up the past few days knowing I don't have it ready, and now that I finally do, it's like I can breathe freely. And so with that, we have finished off her gift, the physical one. I still have to work on the digital one, but we have finished our audiobook now as well, so we'll speak about this, then I'll get on to the digital one and then listen to something else as well probably. But this one, follow Lila, who is the other twin in the family, and she's the one who runs the coffee shop, and after watching all her siblings sort of like fall in love and realizing that she probably doesn't have that on the horizon for her, she throws herself into like work even more than ever and becomes like a workaholic to the point where she hasn't taken like a single day off in forever. So her sister Eloise from a couple of the previous books, Jasper Vale, that one, she stages an intervention so she can like get a break and whatnot, and Lila decides okay, she'll spend her day kind of just going hiking and whatnot, and then she'll get back to work because that's the only thing that's keeping her running in life. Except when she goes to her favorite like path for hiking, there's this man who's standing there and he's like washing his hands in the river and he's like washing blood away, and because she spots him, he has to like get rid of her so she doesn't go back as like proof and like rat him out and stuff. And so he starts coming to choke her. There's like an altercation. She gets away somehow, and suddenly now her life's goal has become to like track the man who nearly tried to kill her down. And on the other hand, we have the male love interest, who is Vance. He is like a cop or whatever from like a different town over, and his job is also to track this guy down, the one who tried to take down Lila, because he has traumas associated in the past with it. And so when they run into each other in town and they realize they have the same motive, they like sort of like team up together to find him and whatnot, track him down, except they're falling for each other at the same time. And that's the story. And all I'll say is, again, it's insta-lovey. It's very cringy. They love each other right off the beginning and whatnot, and he's just like a horrible person to his like ex-girlfriend at the beginning, because like clearly the author needs him to be single before these guys can get together. But just the way he talks and behaves, sorry, a hard pass, okay? And then apart from that, also just the way all the family members, they act so entitled, and like the author's trying to throw in like the most cliched generic of genres and make it all look wholesome and homey and family. It just looks so weird to me, because every time you read one of these books, they'll put in like a sentence that says, oh, every time you throw a rock, you can probably hit an Eden or something like that in the small town, because apparently they're like the founders of the town, and they all act like so privileged and whatnot, but they try to like dumb it down and pretend like they're good people. I'm sorry, it just comes across as so fake, and like I hate it so much the way it's portrayed, but every time I keep coming back for more. And so here we are. This one also felt a lot like Indigo Ridge, the first one in the series, repackaged up, because it's got the same element of romance and mystery, but I feel like the other couple of books also have it, especially like with the second one, that was like very mafia coded. So overall, it's trying to do a lot with little page count, and there was not quite a sufficient balance between the romance and the mystery, but also it was so underwhelming to the point where at 2 stars. I'm just happy I'm done with it. Now I have only one book left. I'll read at some point, and then after that I'll be done with this. So I put myself to torture, and with that we have finished the next book, and now I'm gonna see what I end up listening to as I finish out with this after it dries, and then also her digital gift, and then we'll see what I'm doing. But yeah, those are my plans for this evening. Now I'll probably see you in the nighttime if I do get something done. I'm not really sure honestly at this point, but yeah, this one was just not a great book, and I need something to take my mind off it now. So let's see what I end up picking up next in the series. But so far I don't feel slumped out anyway, so it's like a good sign to know that I still want to read, which is why I'm going to get to it. See y'all in a bit, and that's my update. Final update before I go down for dinner, because I got one more audiobook done. I'm telling you, I'm in my perfect reading era again, because I just can't stop. And so this one's called Beg, Borrow and Steal, is the next one in the When in Rome series. And before anyone asks, I know I said in one of my previous videos, I think the Pinterest one, that when I read the second book in the series, I was just like, maybe the series is not for me, maybe I shouldn't continue it and whatnot. But then at the same time, there was hinting at one of the next couples, so I was just like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna give, I want to see it through, which is why there's only 2 books left in the series. Figured I'd pick this one up, and now after this I have only one, and so I was really hoping we'd get the couple that they were hinting at. I didn't research anything, I just looked up that this is the 3rd book, downloaded it, only to realize it's about the sister I don't want to read about. It's not the couple I wanted. That's the next book. So until I get to that, at least I read this book, kind of bridging the story up to there. It's just now the way this has kind of marketed that book with the tension between that couple, Madison and James, I want to see it through so bad, which I will. But for this one specifically, I was listening to it again, sped up, finished it out. We follow Emily. She is her older sister, and she's a very type A person, very relatable, to the point where she needs everything in order exactly the way she prefers it to be. And now enter Jack, who is basically her professional nemesis and stuff. They've been rivals since back in college, because she was not having a great day. He ran into her and spilled his coffee on her, and tried to make a meet cute out of it by flirting with her and trying to ask her out, but she didn't take it in the right way. And ever since then, they've always been competing in whatever field that they pursue, because it's very similar what they do. And so now they're both working as teachers and stuff, except move on to present day. He has just moved back into the town of Rome, Kentucky, where she lives, because he just broke off his engagement with his fiance. He's not getting married anymore. He's a single man now, and suddenly she just knows that, hey, she's gonna have a very eventful summer, knowing that they're gonna again battle it out amongst each other. But actually what happens is that he ends up becoming her next door neighbor and stuff, and they are a lot closer than the 2 of them would think. So they end up spending a lot of time together in close proximity, and he's got a motorbike, and there are those scenes. And she is writing this manuscript that she accidentally ends up mailing to the principal of the school, because she was gonna send it out to an editor, but she was drunk and whatnot, and suddenly she needs to go and delete it off his email and stuff, because it's got spice in it, and she might get fired from her job because she's a second grade teacher. So he embarks on that mission with her. They're breaking into his house, trying to figure out what to do. And so all of this going down, they start to realize that they're falling for each other, and they've always been sort of in love, but it's always just been the rivals on the exterior, fight it out kind of situation, to the point where now they're not sure if they're going to acknowledge it. And all I'll say is, rivals to lovers is such a slept on trope. I love this so much. I can't wait for more books like this, because I do remember I read one a few years ago. I think it was I Hope This Doesn't Find You or something like that. It was a bunch of letters the girl had written as hate to the guy, and it was all rival stuff, and it was just so fun to read about, and this definitely gave me those vibes. But one thing I will say, the author's books always right off the bat, there's this sort of instant attraction that kind of steamrolls the story to the point where it's always sped up. It's just they know from the beginning they like each other, and it's a facade until they admit it, which is why that wasn't my favorite part, but it was definitely fast paced. I finished it in no time whatsoever, and it was a good rom-com book anyway, and now I can't wait to read the next one. So I'm gonna give this another maybe 3 stars, because I did like the previous book better, but it still wasn't such a bad time. I'm happy I read it. I'm really happy I came for the small town drama and all the other couples, the cameos we got as well, and I can't wait for Madison and James now. So until then, yeah, this was an okay story. It wasn't too bad. I feel the banter was great, the connection, it definitely did get emotional and deeper towards the end, I think more than the surface level connection between the last couple books, but it was still okay to read about, and overall it's gonna be a forgettable story, but it was like a good palate cleanser to read in the middle of everything else, because the next book I'm thinking I want to pick up is actually a fantasy, is the one I started this whole video for, because I read the first one in that series and I just needed to know where to go next. So I'm gonna go start listening to that now. I'm still working on the digital gift, but my laptop actually died out on me, so I figured let me come update, go take like a break for like dinner and stuff, and then get back to it, which is why this will charge. Until then, I will go take my break, well earned and well deserved, come back for my book, and I'll see you guys now directly tomorrow, because it's a fantasy. I highly doubt that I'm getting it done tonight, but regardless, see you all tomorrow once I do have updates to give. Hopefully I'll get this done by that point as well, and then we'll see what else I end up getting along to. But I want to get back to the Kindle book I was reading as well at some point, so it'll be like a mixed sort of reading between a bunch of things that I'm reading, and that's what I'll be doing tonight. And hopefully we'll get some more series done, because it's always a good time, which is why I'm gonna get to it. See you all in a bit. That's my update. Bye. Okay, so at this point, after a bunch more reading, I have finished one full audiobook, which we'll be speaking about right now, half of the next audiobook, which I need to go back and finish, and then I'll come speak about it later, and half of a Kindle book that I need to again go back and read and we'll speak about later. But that's for quite a bit of reading done, which is why let's catch up, because I was awake till like 4:30. I just had no mood to sleep because I wanted to keep reading, even though the books are not that great, because I'm out of my slump and there's truly nothing like it, so I want to capitalize on it. And with that, we managed to kind of listen to the next book in the Long Live Evil series. This one is All Hail Chaos, and I read the first book literally on Friday, finished it off, and had the best time ever in my getting out of a slump video. So I knew I wanted to get to the next one, because that one ends on like the biggest cliffhanger, and just the way that one made me feel at this point, I'm really questioning if that's like a 5 stars, the first one specifically, not the second one, because it was just so good. I can't stop thinking about the events in that I don't know, maybe give me like one more week and I'll decide if I'm still thinking about it. I'm probably just gonna up it to 5, because it was that amazing. I don't think I've ever been locked in on a fantasy ever since like Akatar and Fourth Wing as much as I have on this one, to the point where it's just so incredible. I needed injected into my veins. But basically I finished that one and I knew I needed to read the next one, and so it was actually going to be a different video this week, which now I'll be doing next week, that I postponed because I needed to get to this one. And so I figured I'll just do like a reading series video, gives me the best excuse, finish some other series, get to this as well. And overall, I'm not really sure what to say about this book, because it definitely wasn't as good as the first one, but at the same time the first was just incredible. I don't know what will ever beat that, which is why here we are. For a quick premise about the first one, because this is a fantasy series and I don't want to spoil the second for you, follow Ray, who's on her deathbed with cancer, and there's this like mysterious figure that comes up to her and asks her if she wants to make this magical bargain through which she can continue living and whatnot. It's just she won't live in her own world, to which she agrees because she does want to experience life and stuff. She's only 20, and so with that she actually gets transported into her favorite fictional fantasy world, so into her own favorite fantasy series. Picture something like Actor and stuff, except when she gets there she's just like, oh my god, this is like best of both worlds. She can keep living, she's got a healthy body and stuff. Now she can go, she's been crushing on the emperor ever since she read the books and stuff, so she can go see her real life crush in like real setting, because he's a fictional book character, he doesn't actually exist, but interact with him and stuff, do everything from the fantasy book. Except with the bargain, she also made this deal that when she gets into that book land and whatnot of hers, the fictional world, she's supposed to find this flower that only blooms once in a year, and as soon as she gets that, she's allowed to come back of the world and she'll keep living in her real world. And so her goal is just to find the flower. It's all like fun and games, she's just gonna have a good time in her favorite story series. Except apparently not, because as it turns out, when she actually wakes up in that body, she's actually been transported into the body of the villainess of the story. The emperor completely hates her. He's like put her execution on the line, and the next morning she's supposed to be killed off, and suddenly now she has to escape her fate, find that flower, kind of figure out what's going on in the world, because there's like prophecies coming to light and everyone like hates her and wants her head on a stake like a witch. And so basically picture Reputation if it was a book. And it's just so amazing because she's from the real world, there's also like references to our stuff but then within the fantasy book. So that was really fun, because at some point in the second book they were explaining to one character what a phone is and what the internet is, and it was just so funny to me. It's hilarious. And also she also definitely subtropes and subclassifies what actually happens in fantasy books to kind of show that hey, this is like a generic fantasy trope and it's happening here. Becca, and all of those bits together combined into like the most hilarious but also emotionally deep fantasy book that I wasn't able to put down because the twists in it are insane. I just wanted to see it through. And the second one, while it wasn't as good as the first one per se, because that one, looking back, I don't even know if it was 5 stars, it was just that good. This one, it follows a bunch more quests after the thing that happens at the end of that book, the reveal happens, and you're trying to kind of come to terms with what's happened and grapple with that. But also I feel like the side quests don't really advance the main plot, which is why it was slightly boring to me, which is why this is like a 3.5 star book. It wasn't too bad, it's just it definitely fell into second book syndrome, not as good as the first one. But regardless, I had like a good time seeing my favorite characters, Ray, the Cobra, everyone else, Key, Marius. I'm so sorry, I can't, okay? I loved the first one. The second one wasn't that great, but I'm still so excited for the third. And looking it up on Goodreads last night because I wanted to add it, it said it comes out on 1st July 2027. Today is exactly 1st July 2026. What do you mean I have to wait a whole year until the next one? Because this again ends in the biggest like plot twist ever. It's just the process of getting there was slow, which is why it's not the best book ever, this one. But I need the next one so bad because I need to see where the story goes. It's the last one in the trilogy, and I don't know how I'm supposed to survive a whole year waiting for that book and kind of waiting to see what's, you know, to come, because it was just so insane. I loved it so much. I just need everyone to have a happy ending or I'm gonna genuinely be sobbing. It's gonna break me down, and I don't know how my mental health will survive that. But this was still great otherwise. It was a fun time to listen to, and again, it was like 500 something pages, but I definitely didn't feel like it. So it was like a good book overall. And if you want to pick something up that you will breeze through and whatnot, a fantasy you'll enjoy, this is definitely really fun as well. So 3.5 stars. Moving on now, I'm going to get to both the audiobook that I'm halfway through and the Kindle book, and then we'll see what I end up reading and finishing off first. But this evening I'm actually supposed to be taking my sister to dance class, so we'll just have to see what I end up doing before that and whatnot, because while I'm there, I know I definitely will be reading on my Kindle and stuff, getting that book done at that point, because there's a lot of sitting around waiting going on, which means hopefully we will get both the other books I'm in the middle of as well done this evening. But who knows, those are my plans basically overall. And then after that, we'll just have to see what more series I'm getting to, because I'm not really sure what's on my radar at the moment. But anyway, that's for the updates right now. Lots of things going on, but overall good things. And yeah, I don't know how I'm supposed to wait till Kill Your Darlings comes out, so I'm just gonna go be sad till then. And is this what people feel like when they read unfinished fantasy series that end on cliffhangers and don't know what's coming next? Because I feel so sick right now. I'm unwell knowing that they might not get like a happy ending, because even like scouring through the author's Instagram yesterday, I saw like a bunch of like fan edits and stuff, and the way she was hinting at it, I'm not sure if they're getting it, which is why I'm scared. But at the same time, who knows, we'll cross our fingers and keep hope out. But yeah, that was my update. I'm gonna get back to it now. See you all in a bit, and bye. So I'm supposed to leave in 10 minutes, which is why I'm going to make this update quick, because we still need to drive over, get there and whatnot. But I did get the next book done. It's called The Hot Honey Hideaway, the audiobook, because it was sent to me by the publisher. So thank you so much for my copy, my arc, which I got to kind of late, but at least I got to it. And it's the next one in the series. I don't remember the name of the series, but I think it was called Maple Falls or something like that. It's like a rip-off of Dream, Harbor, Pumpkin Spice Cafe, those books. And the thing is, I didn't realize it until I went to update my Goodreads. This is actually the 4th one in the series. I was on the 3rd one, completely skipped that to read this. And all I say is I didn't have a great time with this either, so I genuinely don't think I'm going back to read the 3rd and then the 5th and whatever comes out next, which is why this will be the final book I'm reading from the series, even though it's out of order, because I didn't have a good time. So quick update, basically in this book we follow Krista and Joe. Krista is running a cafe called the Hot Honey Hideaway in this town and whatnot, the small town Maple Falls, except it's about to close its doors because she has to go look after her grandparents and their estate and stuff, because her grandma is slowly starting to lose her memories and stuff, and she wants to spend time with her, figuring out some like past family things that happened with her grandma's mom, and she needs like answers on some secrets and stuff. And so there's that. And then there's Joe, who's like a photographer who's like passing through town and stuff. He's only there for his like work and stuff. He's only gonna be there a few weeks, but then they strike up this like sort of like easy truce deal sort of situation wherein they're hanging out. There's like a fling situation involved, and slowly they both want more. Also, the town, I don't know if she's the campaignist or whatever, but she's trying to like market the town. This girl called Elsie, she has this idea wherein they try to like swap lives for like this Instagram thing that they're posting, like a campaign again for the town to get like online internet attraction for it to go viral so people can come and boost the economy. These two end up swapping lives for like 5 days throughout, so they're spending time throughout that as well. And there's that update. And all I'll say is this book, it was genuinely so bad. I hated every second. It's just insta lovey. They've known each other for literally 2 minutes and they're falling in love. But also the whole series, I've every book I've read in it, I've given 2 stars. So all in all, to say I didn't have a good time. Frankly, I hated every second of it because it wasn't up my alley. I prefer emotional connections and this wasn't it. And so yeah, it was just an over dramatic book overall, and it felt like the author was trying to make like a Hallmark movie into a story, and it just didn't work. So this would be like a 2-star book. Not going back to the series. This will be the final one I'm reading in it, and I'm done with the book now. So I'm gonna go head out, and I'll see you all hopefully when I get there. Pick up my Kindle book, read all of that throughout while I'm there, maybe get some editing in, who knows, but those are my plans for this evening. Gonna get to it, see you all in a bit, and that's my update, so bye. So now it's time for an update because I did go ahead and continue reading the last one in the Maid series. I still have no idea what it's called. I think it was like The Darkest Temptation or something like that. All of them, they have similar covers and similar titles, which is why I'm getting confused. But it's the 3rd one in the series and the only one that's out at this point for the final book, because I feel like the last one, it was announced a few years ago. It hasn't come out at this point, and frankly I have no urge to read it even if it does come out. So I'm gonna DNF the series while I'm here because I finished this book and I just know that when the final one comes out, I don't care to read it, which is why this will be the last one I'm reading from the series. And all that I want to say, I hated it. So let's discuss. Yesterday when I last came in, I did have to like go out and whatnot, and then I took my Kindle with me. I was reading while she was in class, my sister, and I did get a decent way through. It's just the class wasn't very long. I also wanted to like grab McDonald's and stuff, so in the midst of all of that, I did not finish the book at that point over there. Genuinely, I thought I'd have more time, but there wasn't any. Literally, I carried all my stuff to like edit as well. I thought I'd be locked in for a few hours. Nope, it ended in no time. And so because of that, I figured I'll come back home, do all the jazz, see it through, which is why I got back home after dinner, sat down, locked in and finished the book then. And then I figured I'll speak to you all directly in the morning because it was kind of late then. But then after that, I also ended up starting a different book. We'll get to that in a second, but just for now, know that after having finished this book, I truly regret having used my eyeballs in such like an unproductive way because I hated it. For a quick premise, we follow Mila. For context, you must know that this is a dark romance and you can clearly tell from the cover. I won't put the original cover up because it's like weird and I don't like it. I don't like any real people covers, which is why this is the other one I found online and I'll put this one. But essentially, she's always lived like a privileged and sheltered life, except when she hits her 20th birthday and her father isn't in town, she finally feels suffocated and she loses it in that life because she hasn't seen her father for months. There's like a bunch of secrets that occupy almost like the closets in their house, to the point where she's like tiptoeing around everyone and everything. She's lived a pretty lonely life considering it's only just the hired staff, and when her father's in town, him with her essentially. So she figures, okay, she wants to know the truth about certain things, and so she figures the best way to start is to visit Russia because that's her birthplace, and she just hasn't been there even once, doesn't know shit about it, and she just wants to know more. Except her father's always forbidden her from going there with good reason, which she finds out when she gets there, because when she reaches Moscow, she ends up running into this man who is basically what her father's protecting her from. He's a mafia man. He's got lots of ink, very morally grey, filthy mouth, but also she ends up falling for him because he's like, again, her exact opposite, and the heart wants what it cannot have essentially. And so at the beginning it's all fun and games until she realizes that he's like using her because he, like I said, he's a mafia man, and his mafia like group has got like a grudge against her father's, and so he ends up kidnapping her and holding her captive essentially to like get revenge on the father and also use her as like a pawning chip and whatnot. And so he is in love with her captor now. She doesn't know what to do with it and she doesn't know how to get out, and that's her story. And all I'll say is this book was just, I don't even know what to call it. It wasn't a romance. Anyone who thinks this is a romance, like, what am I supposed to say to you? Because this was Stockholm Syndrome, like literally by the textbook 101, because everything about this was just extremely wrong. Okay, just the way he's using her, and like I don't even know how to explain it to you. All I'll say is this book disgusted me. I don't give books 1 star because I feel bad considering the fact that the authors put work into it that I will never know because I haven't written a book, and I don't deserve to give it 1 star. But at the same time, if I could give a book 0 stars, this would be the one. I'm gonna give it 2 because I feel guilty. It's just I hated every second of it. I'm shocked into speechlessness because I don't know what to say right now. This book, she has no self-respect for herself. She keeps crawling back to the man who wants to kill her father essentially, and just the way he's using her, and they are trying to pass off assault and non-consensual things in this book as romance is just so wrong. And the fact that she keeps running back to him and she's just got no respect for herself whatsoever, and like I don't know how to explain it to you. All I'll say is I hated this book so much. I can't believe I wasted my time on it. And yeah, this cements the fact that I won't go back and read any more books in the series, even if they do release at whatever point, because this was horrendous. This is one of the worst books, if not the very worst book I've read in my entire life, because what the hell was that? The entire book is just like he's doing all these things and he should be thrown in jail for that, worse than jail, because it's not good, it's not correct. And I mean, that's the point, it's like a dark romance, but still there should be some degree of consent. It's just everything is against it, and oh my god, guys, I hated it. Basically, this is like one of the worst books I've ever read. It's pissing me off, and I finished it. Thank god I finished it because I hated every second. And I think I forgot to say in my update for the clip and whatnot for that book I was reading, the dark romance, is the fact that number 1, he has this thing wherein he refers to her as her pet and he wants to like tame her and break her down. Alright, and he treats her worse than you treat an animal. And I'm not saying animals are to be treated bad, obviously, but if you were to picture something of the sort, especially in those lines and whatnot, it's horrible. Just the way they speak and behave with women in this world, I hate it. And obviously you need to treat animals great, but like the comparison is the only thing I can think of, to the point where, guys, that was honestly horrible. That's number 1. Number 2, she has this thing wherein at some point in the book, one of his servants is like flirting with him and whatnot, and she says, oh, I hate blondes, because she doesn't like the way that's going down and whatnot. She's starting to catch feelings at that point. What in the Stockholm syndrome just happened? But that's going on, and then a few chapters later you find out that he really loves the main girl Mila, her blonde hair. And all I'm saying is, she says she hates blondes, but she's a blonde herself, and that just, it sounds so stupid, which is a great example of how stupid she feels throughout the entire book, because he's behind her father's life. He's using her as a pawning chip to kill her father, and she's falling in love with him and wants like the whole shebang out of him, so like marriage and babies and kids and whatnot. And all I'm saying is, guys, that's just so disgusting. And also, just the way this took place, it's not a romance. The way he like literally assaults her, is abusing her, and then that's being romanticized into romance. I mean, some dark romance books, don't get me wrong, they're really good, but sometimes they like toe the line between what's okay and what's not, and romanticizing what's not, and this is a great example of that. So all in all to say, I hated it. Romance is so dead. But then also over the weekend I saw like the Empire State Building proposal and stuff, so I take it back as well, because there is romance. It's just in aspects like this, it doesn't really work. But yeah, that's my update. I think you can still tell that I'm worked up over this book because I hated it so much that honestly anything about it, it's pissing me off. I can't think of anything specific more that I want to add to the review, because there were a couple things throughout that pissed me off, but because it's been a few days since I read it, I can't recollect, and that's the best thing ever, because at least I'm forgetting it right now. I don't have to live my life knowing I've read this, which is why, all in all to say, I hated it. And yeah, if I think of anything else, I'll have it on text on the screen and whatnot, because there's so many reasons I hated it, which is why I want to let you know as well, because it's my blog, my rules, don't care, and that's my next update for this book. And now all I need to do is read a better book, which is why yesterday in the night I did start the audiobook of the next one that I wanted to read in the series. This would have been the final book I was reading for the video, but at this point I want to read a couple more because it's still Thursday, I have time, so it won't be, which is why I figured, okay, I'll just audiobook my way through this one, see it through yesterday night itself instead of like postponing it for today. And so I was getting some work done. In a couple weeks the new Heartstopper season comes out, and I haven't read any of those books, so I've been planning to like make a vlog when I'm reading all the books and watching the show, because like I keep seeing edits, all my friends love it, and I want to know more about Nick and Charlie. I think those are their names, which is why I did stay awake. I was downloading the books and all of that, and for some reason I think Amazon's like server was down again, because it took 1 hour to download the books. That's insane. It never takes this long. But so I was listening to the audiobook in the middle of that, and I got through like halfway, which is why at this point this afternoon I might go back to like reading, journaling and stuff, doing a bunch of those other things and seeing it through. But yeah, with that I would like to go ahead and at least finish that book out today, because I want to move on from whatever this previous book was. I need to like bleach my soul after having read that, because it was disgusting. Alright, there's no other better way to describe it, which is why let me see how I'm going to try to move on. This one will hopefully help, which is why let's see what happens next. I'll go through with it, I guess update you all once I'm done. It's just I need something better now, because this was just so bad. I need my memory to be erased, so I don't have to like go back and ponder on the fact that I even read something like this because it was horrible, which is why here we are. If I ever start DNFing books, I would have probably started with this one and DNF'd it because it was that disgusting, but I needed to see it through, which is why that's it. Now I'll get to the other audiobook that I was listening to and finish off other errands, I guess, this afternoon, and update you all hopefully when I have other things to say about it. But yeah, things are not going so great anymore for this video because I didn't like the previous book, and hopefully we'll pick up now because I can't. All right, it was just so bad. I don't even know what to say. Do I look absolutely crazy? Yes, but I finished the next book, and again, I'm having a good time with reading again because it kind of helped me get over how bad the previous one was, which is why here we are. I went back to my go-to at this point that fixes any problem I've ever got, Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I've only read the Natural series by her, which is why I wanted to read more of her backlist, which is why I picked up this series. It's called The Debutantes. Earlier this year, and I read the first one in it, and now I read the second one. So with that, I've also finished a series because I actually did look it up if this is the final one because the story concludes pretty evenly and I wasn't sure if we were getting more. And I found this Tumblr post from her way back in the day that said that she has only planned 2 books at the moment. She might start a third, who knows, but then that's going to follow a different generation, so it becomes like a whole different series for other people and stuff, which is why with that we have reached the conclusion of this one. But also this one was published in like 2019. It's 2026 right now. I hardly believe that, you know, she's going to come back in with more for this specific series, which is why with that we have finished this book. Essentially in it we follow Sawyer, who's like a basic everyday sort of girl. She is 18 years old and she's living the life of a mechanic right now, just trying to make ends meet, until her rich benefactory grandmother shows up at the doorstep telling her that, oh wait, you belong in a luxurious world, and she's come to get her because her mom had actually run away with Sawyer and taken them away from that sort of environment back when she was conceived and stuff. So at this point Sawyer hasn't had like a chance to meet her real family and whatnot and live the life of luxury that they've all got because they're rich, but also to actually find her father because her mom's never told her, which is why when the grandma shows up offering to pay for like the college tuition and stuff for the next year for Sawyer and obviously give her that sort of life, Sawyer accepts because number one, she's trying to make the money and make ends meet, but also because she wants to find out the secret of who her father is. And so she ends up going there for debutante season, for the ball, attending all those functions and stuff, upholding the family name, but at the same time in the background she's trying to locate the man. And there's like a lot of confusing details coming up because it could be possibly any of the older men over there. It's just she's trying to figure out what caused the damage in the family in the first place that the mom had to leave, which is why, you know, all of that's going on. There's like an element of mystery and stuff, and towards the end of the first one she figures out who it is. So in this one you're kind of dealing with the consequences. There's a body that shows up. It's kind of, you know, dangerous speaking about the next book in a series because I don't want to spoil anything for y'all, but I'm keeping this as spoiler free as I can. Just know that there's a bunch of crazy stuff that happens, and again she's trying to use her connections and her new friends to kind of figure out what's actually going down because it not only affects her life, but that same web of secrets has now tangled in everyone else's, and it's coming to spoil everyone's lives, and everyone would do anything to keep their secrets locked up in the closet where they belong. And so that's the story. And picture Gossip Girl, especially Lily and Gossip Girl, her mom Celia, and everything else that comes with it. Or was her name something else? I don't remember. I finished that show a while back, but just know that all the secrets and the high society vibes and those ball and, you know, fancy gown sort of seasons that were in Gossip Girl, it definitely comes up in this book and gives those vibes, which is why that was fun to read about. The element of mystery, the way it picked up in this book, I thought the first one was slow, which is why I gave it like 3.5 stars, but this one we jump right into the meat of the plot. You get so much crazy shit happening, the way the connections line up and they fall in the form of dominoes. All I'm gonna say is this author is a mastermind. I never thought she could outdo herself, but I enjoyed the naturals and I thought nothing would ever compare. And while this definitely isn't as great as that, it's good enough because I thought that was so insane, the way everything lines up and the way, you know, she connects and weaves everyone into the story and all the plot twists just like hit you in the face. It is insane. I saw this one review saying that, you know, that meme of that man with the conspiracy theories and stuff using red yarn to connect everything. If I were to do the same thing, I would literally look insane because that's what the book made me feel like. It genuinely felt like a bunch of conspiracy theories and you're trying to like connect all of them through because the way, again, it's so insane, it goes so deep, and from the past and stuff, and when it was coming back out, oh my god, I truly had the best time with this one. And yeah, all I'll say is 4 stars. This was an incredible read, and now I need to go and read the Inheritance Games, that series, because I think like the final book in it is coming out recently, which is why I need to catch up on that, because she's just such an incredible author. I'm enjoying her work so much that, you know, it's fast paced, it's YA, I can finish it in no time and have an amazing time with it and have my mind blown. So that's like the whole package in itself. And with that, we have finished this one out, and we've also finished a series, so that definitely helps, which is why now I want to figure out what I want to do, because I did start the next Eden's book on my Kindle and I finished 25% in a sitting, because it's really fast paced, it's easy to get through it. It's just, again, I'm not enjoying it very much, which is why I might put it off and read it in a different vlog, but at the same time, this is a great chance to finish off another series, which is why let's see what I end up doing. I'll probably just try to see if I can get this read, and if not, I'll probably pick up something on audio and get that read. But yeah, I want to read at least a couple more books before the end of this vlog, because I still have all of tonight left, and then tomorrow and then Saturday if I do any reading, which is why let's just see what happens. But again, I'm in a great reading mood, so far the series are really helping me kind of immerse myself into worlds I already enjoy and kind of see those stories too, which is why I'm going to get back to that, and I'll see you all in a bit once I have more things to say. But those are my updates for right now, and bye. So it's the next evening, and you can't exactly tell from my window view because it looks all fine, but it's been raining the entire day. It's been raining since like yesterday evening all into today, no stops, and just now it's like lightly pouring, not as bad as it was earlier, to the point where it's freezing. So I've just locked in, chilled in my bed, blankets all covering me up, trying to get like a hot drink and just relax and like read my books, because frankly this is the kind of weather to be doing that. It's just so gloomy that I don't feel like doing anything else, thanks to which I did go ahead and finish out one more audiobook because I was doing a couple of other errands I needed done, and then ever since then I've locked back in on Sable Peak, and then I want to get this done tonight as well, so that I can hopefully end this video off then and then start re-editing, so I have lesser things to do tomorrow and less stress, which is why here we are. Let's speak about the book that I did end up finishing out. This one's called 4 Aunties and a Wedding. It's the second one in the Dial A for Aunties series. I read that one on vacation last month, gave it 5 stars because it was such like an incredible story, so charming. I had like the best time kind of reading it out, to the point where I just knew I wanted to get to the next one soon. And all I'll say is it was a little bit disappointing, not as good as the first one obviously, and so let's discuss. For a quick premise and whatnot, in this book we follow Maddie again, and the thing is this time it's actually her own wedding day, because all these years she's worked as like a wedding photographer and it's finally time to have her own moment. So the thing is, her family actually runs this like wedding catering business, but for her own special day she wants them all to actually enjoy the event rather than catering to everyone else's whims and wants, to the point where she ends up hiring a different catering family to look after her wedding. It's also Chinese and Singaporean like her own. All should be going well. She's hit it off with the main lady of the family and whatnot, who's organizing the whole thing, who's got like the same age group and stuff like Maddie. Her name is Stephanie with an A, and you know they can definitely relate to each other because they both have like misspelled spellings in their names. She's Maddie, she was supposed to be Maddie like Madeline, and Stephanie, you get it. Except what happens is that the day of her bachelorette and whatnot, she actually overhears Stephanie on this call, which is discussing the fact that Stephanie's family are the mafia. They have only taken up Maddie's wedding because they actually have a target who's attending that they need to take down as part of the guest list, and suddenly everything's flipped on its end because Maddie has had enough of all this like death and bodies surrounding and following her wherever she goes, and now she needs to enlist the help of the aunties essentially to fix and save her wedding day so that it doesn't end up being like a chaotic death day for someone and whatnot. Try to save the guests and try to figure out what these people are up to and how dangerous they probably are. And it was a good book overall. It just wasn't as great as the first one. I don't know if it's because I read the first one on Kindle and so I was able to enjoy it that way, and this one was audiobook, but also I feel like, I don't know, I feel like the actual charm and the unhingedness of the first one, like you can't get crazier than that, and this one definitely felt like it was trying to repackage what you got in the first book and just give it to you again like a platter reserved, which is why it wasn't the best time ever. Frankly, I feel like it was lacking in many aspects. The whole story felt like a mess, and some books they just don't deserve like sequels and stuff because they're good as one story by itself, and this one definitely felt like that. Because honestly for me, I didn't have the best time reading. Like, yeah, Nathan was an absolute sweetheart part the entire time. Had the best time with his scenes. The aunties, their humor is unmatched. It's just the actual scenes with the mystery and the stuff going down. It wasn't as good as the first book, and I know I shouldn't be comparing, but at the same time, I haven't stopped thinking about the first book since the day I read it. That's like instant 5 stars plastered in my head. Might even be 6 if I go back and reread. It's just this one was a bit of a letdown. So it was fun to see my favorite characters again, obviously, but like the actual story wasn't the best time, which is why it's gonna be like a 3 stars purely on the basis of like sentiments and stuff. Not that I actually had the best time, but I will go ahead and read the final book in the trilogy out hopefully soon as well, kind of see it through, and after that I'll decide whether I should just pretend like the first book in a series is a standalone and read it that way if I ever get back to rereading, because this one wasn't it in my opinion. It felt so lacking in terms of like plot and the actual story, because in the first one there's obviously the mystery and the madness going around with the body and how it's being carted around in the actual wedding, and you know, a bunch of like stakes coming in and plot sequences and like all these things going down, and this one felt like it was replicating that, but also in like a very knockoff way, if that makes any sense, because like some aspects were exactly derived that way, like crazy chapter endings and stuff, so you want to keep reading, but also the actual conclusion and the way it went through, it was kind of boring to me, and that's very sad because I like the first one. But anyway, that's life. Here we are, this one's done. I'm gonna get back to this now. I'm at 40% in this, so let's see how that goes. It's not giving me the ick yet, so that's good, because every time I read books in this series and whatnot, they're just the way they talk to each other, it pisses me off so much, because you know how some politicians, just the way they talk, you know that they're slimy and stuff. You can't pinpoint, but you get that inner gut feeling that they're slimy. This gives me those vibes every time any of them open their mouths. It just pisses me off so much. So far I'm not getting that with either characters, but at the same time they're not exactly like a match made in heaven. He didn't even notice that she liked him up till like 1 chapter ago, so we'll see where it goes from now. I don't really know. It's almost like a forced situation, because like the final book in a series, you need to kind of conclude it and give it like a bang, and also conclude everyone's stories with that. So we'll have to see what turn it takes, but I'm reading this right now. Hopefully again the rain kind of stops so I can go chill outside while reading, but if not, I'll just be cozied up in here with my blanket and my book and see it through this evening, and that'll be the final book for this video. We'll have read 10 in this week, which is insane. Crazy coming out of my slump and reading so many in a go. But yeah, hopefully this ends up being the Hail Mary of the video, the saving grace, because right now I don't see a lot of potential and hope, but at the same time I don't really know. Maybe things will pick up, who knows. I'm gonna get to it now. See you all in a bit, and bye. For my final book for this vlog, because I figured it would be really nice to kind of wrap it up by also finishing up a series that I've been reading for so long now, that I figured, you know what, let's do it. I was between reading the next book in Addicted and the next book in Dungeon Crawler Carl, but because I wasn't able to pick, I ended up going with Sable Peak, a completely like out of the blue option, and this is the last one, the Eden series. So we read Crimson River earlier in the video, and then it's the last one after that and whatnot in the series, and I figured, okay, it would be cool to finish the series off, because I started it back in 23. There's only one book in the entire series I've given 3 stars. All the rest of them are 2, 2.5, to the point where it really just felt like full circle finishing it, because at this point I've been hate reading the books. I don't like them like at all. They give me the ick, and so I figured, okay, let's go ahead and finish that. And I think I already told you I'm reading Sable Peak, but I'm not really sure, to the point where just had to repeat, to the point where I finished it now finally in 26, the series. It took me 3 years to get through with it, but now that I'm done, you know that tune War is Over, it was literally playing in my head as I was finishing up, because like it's done, it's finally done. The ending, it was kind of cute, but at the same time it's done. I don't care. I don't have to go back. I don't have to make myself read it again, and I know I didn't have to in the first place. That's how free will works, but at the same time, now that I've done it, I feel good knowing that I've gone through with that experience, and I don't have to repeat it or read another of this author's books again, which is why, all in all to say, I finished this one out. I'll give you a very vague premise, because this feels like an extended version of the previous book, only in different characters' perspectives, because you have a mystery over there, and this kind of carries on into this book because it wasn't fully wrapped up there. So I can't tell you too much because I don't want to spoil it for you, but just know that you should probably go in blind, because I didn't know shit about it, so I wasn't like sure who the FMC would be and stuff, because I knew the guy would be the youngest Eden sibling, Mateo, but then the FMC, I was like, who could that be? And it's actually someone you wouldn't expect, someone from the previous book, and that's all I'll say. Just know she has like a traumatic past. She's trying to heal from what's broken within her, and she just doesn't know what she's gonna do in her life going forward, because there's like a bunch of changes happening all at the same time. So she's trying this thing where she wants to go hiking to find her dad, to kind of try to fix that problem. It makes sense if you've read the books essentially, but that's our FMC. Again, won't tell you who it is, because if you go in crazy blind, it's just gonna be like the biggest shock of your life. And also, it doesn't really make sense. I don't know why the author was pushing it, maybe to get like a good conclusion, or maybe because she couldn't think of like another character for his love interest. But that's the FMC. For the guy, we have Mateo. He is a pilot, he is a single dad, he is handsome, he is an Eden, and so our FMC has like the biggest crush on him right off the bat, and so she thinks also acting on that could solve her life problems, to the point where up until the 30% mark, there's no reciprocation from him whatsoever. She's just like pining after him, and you have her reasons for pining after him, and you see it all throughout. It's just at the 30% mark, when she finally explodes, he realizes that, oh, she's got feelings for him and he might reciprocate, and that's where the story goes. And for me personally, this kind of reminded me of this book I read last week in the Pinterest chooses video called Daddy Issues, wherein the girl, she likes the guy because she's trying to substitute for like a father relationship, because her father isn't present in her life at the moment and she needs like a father figure, and the guy is literally a father figure because he's got like a kid and he's got that good relationship with the kid. So she's using him for that, and he's using her because she's only there as convenience, there's no one else, which is why it felt really wrong to read about. Right until like the 30% mark, there's like nothing from him, and then when he realizes that she's there as a convenient person waiting around, he like decides to like jump on it, and suddenly 0 to 10 feelings are going snap snap. He's like jumping on it, pursuing her endlessly, and it makes no sense to me, which is why I hate it every second. As per usual, gave this one I think like 2 stars, but at the same time I'm not sure if I want to give it 2.5 because I'm finally done with the series, and that's the best part. But just know it didn't have like any great scenes, because while I wasn't like icked out going into it, after it did continue on the romance between them, I couldn't do it. So all in all, to say, at least I'm done reading the books, you know what I mean, which is why it feels so weird coming full circle now to say that I'm done with the Eden series. I finished the last one, and it, all in all to say, it wasn't really worth it, because this specifically felt again repackaged from the second one in the series, Juniper Hill. That was the only one I kind of enjoyed, and that one, at least in the parenthood, you could kind of see the struggles with having like a kid and whatnot. Here is just glossed over in favor of the romance and like dragged out, and I feel like it could have been cut short, and the pacing is very off, because at the beginning it's very slow, and then towards the end it's rushed up to the point where it just makes no sense. So I feel like the author should just stick to one thing, because again, the combination of like the mystery with the hiking and stuff, that could have really been cut down. There was no point of including it because it didn't really make sense, and the balance between that and the romance wasn't great, which is why 2.5 stars. I'm done now, and with that we have reached the end of this vlog. At this point I'm still in the middle of like 40 something series, because I keep reading too many and I keep, you know, forgetting to go back to them and starting more. But let me know if y'all would like a part 2 to this video where I keep going back and reading them, because now I want to get on the good part and actually get through them to the point where I have only like 10 or so left, like a manageable number, because 40 is like crazy. But if you want to see all I'm in the middle of, you can definitely go check my Goodreads, because I have like a whole folder called series labeled over there that I keep updating as soon as like the new ones in the series are announced and stuff, new releases, so I can go back and like get to them one day, and I will. So until I do all of that, that's it for this vlog. Hopefully you guys had a fun time coming along with me, reading like 10 different books of 10 different series and finishing up the Edens finally. But yeah, that's about it for this one. Like, comment, share, subscribe, YouTube things, you know how to do them if you guys did have a good time coming along with me. And now I guess I'll just see y'all next time when I'm reading like Addicted and Dungeon Crawler Carl, because those are like the only ones that stuck out to me from this video. All Hail Chaos, the second one in the Time of Iron series. I have to go back and say that the first one in that series is definitely 5 stars now, because I haven't stopped thinking about it, and while the second one wasn't that great, I don't even care. In my head I'll just pretend it's a standalone until like the final book comes out, and until I have to wait for that. So yeah, until I make my time bearable for that, maybe I'll get to reading more series in the time being. And so yeah, that's about it for this video. I'll see you all now directly in next week's vlog, whatever I end up doing there. And until then, take care, stay safe. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and see y'all. Bye.